5 years ago, I wanted to get rich building mobile apps, and this is the video that I would have wanted to watch before I got started on that journey. Fast forward to today, my portfolio of mobile apps makes $41,329 in cash every single month. And in this video, I'm going to go over the funnels, some websites that I use to hack other funnels, as well as an entire case study of one of the apps I have live on the App Store right now, currently generating about $2,000 MRR, 2,202, 4,314. And I'm going to go over what it's like behind the scenes. Let's jump right in. This app is called Closer Coach. It's an AI sales training app, and I target the prosumer market. The prosumer market is a market of people who are ambitious and want to get better in life. This is an app to help people become better at sales training. After studying hundreds and hundreds of apps over the last few years, I found this cool site called screensdesign.com that actually allows you to spy on pretty much any major app that's out there, and you can even see the monthly revenue of that app. This Screens Design tool is super cool. You can just click on any of these apps and you can spy on every single screen that it has. When you do this, you will notice that most apps follow a very common pattern. They call what I like to call, actually, they use what I like to call the self-selling onboarding technique. I just clicked on a random app and you will notice that they use the same technique across all of my apps and apps that are grossing millions of dollars on the App Store. They have a welcome page here, and you will fast forward this. They'll ask you what your main goal is. What are you interested in tracking? This is called the self-selling flow, where you're making the user admit to problems that they have. Why do you want to lose weight? Is there anything else that you want to achieve? And then a loading screen. This is all very standard. If you see my app Closer Coach, you'll notice here that I do an auth wall as soon as the user journey starts, and I ask the same type of questions. What best describes your role? What kind of sales do you do every week? What is your goal? What's stopping you from reaching your goals? And actually, we recently redesigned that screen to be a lot more like painful, where we have this yellow text that allows the user or makes the user feel like there's something kind of screaming at them or warning at them, and kind of triggers a little bit of an emotional sense in their brain. And this is our strategy for getting the user to admit that their lack of sales volume is stopping them, their poor sales training, mental health, busy schedule. I've reached the comfort zone. But the inverse of these selections is what my app provides in terms of value. So you'll notice that this app doing $3.3 million a month is incorporating the same onboarding framework that my app is using. However, it looks like they go back into asking more questions. What experience do you have with weight loss? They give you some value screens. I really like those value screens, actually. It gives you a really cool visual to show kind of the value of your app or overall illustrate a story. I'm working on doing this with Closer Coach. We have one screen that does that, where we say real estate agents with strong objection handling skills close 30% more on average. And this has definitely helped improve our conversion rates because users want to be spoken to like they're a human. This is something that a lot of app builders forget. They think that people are just going to magically put money into this machine that they're building or this just piece of software. But no matter how you transact with somebody, humans buy from humans, and you have to talk to anybody as a human, whether you're talking to them through an app or you're talking to them through a website or you're actually on the phone and closing a deal. Talk to humans and treat humans like they are interpersonal, relationship-oriented creatures who want to have a conversation, who want to talk, and who want to feel like they're being trusted. That is the purpose of a longer onboarding flow, and you're seeing that the market these days is actually trending toward longer onboarding flows because of opportunities like this, where you have screens like, awesome, that's a great starting point. We're talking to the user and making them feel like we're interacting with them. You might think at first, and this is how I felt 5 years ago or 10 years ago when I first started, like, oh, these little pieces of text don't matter. It's just an app. People are going to go through it and they're going to pay if they want to or not. But that's not true. Each one of these opportunities to talk to your user will improve trust, and to be honest, will improve your conversion rates as well. You'll notice that June, July, and August, we were hanging around this 17.5% mark. Then in September, we launched 2 major updates where we actually made our onboarding flow longer. you'll see here we added 2 pre-paywall screens where we prompted the user like, hey, we're going to give you a 3-day free trial, heads up, and here's how we're going to help you stop it, or here's how we're going to remind you that it's going to end. When we added that 2-step process, boom, conversion rates shot up. You definitely have some bad days and conversion rates will dip. I think we actually adjusted some ad spend here, but you'll notice here that generally we're making higher lows and higher highs, and the trend is definitely upwards. Back here, we were testing things like free trial, no free trial, and we kept our onboarding flow the same. But we noticed that no matter what we did, turning on free trials or off free trials, we couldn't really crack onboarding. So we ended up going with our gut and adding more pages to the onboarding flow. You'll see here that we added a post-purchase flow that gives users more trust after they see the initial purchase screen. This is when we actually launched it, and this is when we had our paywall screens being added. This is Mixpanel, and we live and die by Mixpanel. We don't even care about what we want to see in the app. We have a vision for the product, but we look at the data all day, every day, and make our decisions from here. So I'm actually noticing that there's a huge trend in the market where more onboarding flows are getting longer than ever before. And one rule I actually heard from one of my friends who runs Interlock Studios, backed by Mark Cuban, is that you keep adding screens to your onboarding flow until you start seeing drop off. That's the rule of thumb right now in the app world. People are going for longer onboarding flows because they want more in-app usage. They want more users to make micro commitments as they go through the app, because there is this effect that the more you engage, the more micro investments that you make into a product that you just found, the more likely you're going to be to just say, screw it, I'm going to give it a shot. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So Screens Design is a product that I'm using a lot these days. They're adding a lot of new apps every single day, and I'm using that when making decisions in my own funnel. And my funnel has evolved over time from just a couple screens to being highly optimized and having a very strong conversion rate. I do a lot of paywall and funnel experiments. I drop them all inside of my community called Dreams into Apps. For example, one of my paywall experiments is still running, and I post my hypothesis, I post what I'm testing, and I actively post the results and the conclusion, whether my hypothesis was true or my hypothesis was false. And inside of my Dreams into Apps community, I'm creating a collection of the results of my experiments so that you guys can learn off of my money. Dreams into Apps is our paid community. There is a link in the description for you to join that. Outside of Dreams into Apps, not only do I teach people full time, but I'm operating a portfolio of products that you saw here doing 41,354, and there's actually another payment processor that's collecting about $30,000 a month. So our entire portfolio is doing $1 million ARR right now, and we're launching one new app by the end of the year with a major creator. Ambitious Ventures is our venture studio where we partner with huge creators with millions of followers or hundreds of thousands of subscribers on YouTube, and we build and launch software products for them. So what I do is I take all of the learnings in our venture studio and I just feed it back to everybody inside of the Dreams into Apps community. There's 90 members in it right now, and we are increasing prices every 10 members. We also have one-on-one mentorship where if you have an idea for a product and you want to work with me to bring it to life, there's a link in the description to join my one-on-one mentorship. Cool. So back to this. Once you have your product set up, it's really just 3 things that you're monitoring day to day. You're obviously looking at your revenue, and you're keeping track of your download to purchase or trial rate. And your goal is to continue pumping traffic to your app using strategies like paid ads, like organic, or even influencers. A lot of people are scared of paid ads because they think it's expensive. However, you can run paid ads in other countries that keep your cost per 1,000 views very low. And even for $5 a day, you can find good quality traffic for your app and add probably 5 downloads a day. You can definitely get downloads worldwide for about $1 a pop and watch your charts start to increase. Your goal is to just get your charts flowing. Then it's just a matter of structured experiments week over week. And if you notice here on my 3-month chart, every month we're making improvements, and we annotate the improvements right here in Mixpanel. And our goal is to just find the one big month. So this month is extremely exciting for us. We are currently converting a lot of trials at a very strong price. I give away all of my metrics inside of the Dreams into Apps community as well. But what you need to do is turn your business into a math equation Work hard for 2 or 3 months to build the product vision that you have, and then step out of it and just turn it into a math equation. Now my day is very simple. I look at my Mixpanel reports. I tackle one component of my product at a time, whether that is acquisition, so making it more efficient for users to download and purchase, or retention, making it better. Well, two types of retention. First 7 days retention, where I make it very easy for somebody to actually complete a call. For example, this is my first call completion rate. So what percentage of people download my app and then end up doing their first call? It looks like we're at 67%, which is very, very good. You want users to see a quick win after they make a purchase, because that's what they made a purchase to do. So I'm just looking at each of these metrics, and there were actually some moments in time where this metric was very low. In fact, it was low for the majority of the time. If I go to 3 months and bring this down by week, well, let's go by month. Here in July, it was pretty low. And then in August, we actually added what's called a post-purchase flow, like in mid-July. And that actually took a user into the call flow after they made a purchase. So you're seeing that the conversion rate increased as we added those features. So that's pretty much what my life is behind the scenes. We pump more traffic, we do the math, and we watch money come into our account. And look, in no way am I trying to make this all sound easy. Building mobile apps and SaaS businesses are one of the hardest business models on the internet. However, it is the most rewarding business model because you are learning cutting-edge software development skills that are highly transferable, and the enterprise value of the products that you can build can sometimes be up to 10 times your revenue. And building an app that makes $100,000 a year is truly not that hard. It takes time, consistency, and building a product, not just an app idea. And if you have an app idea and you want to turn it into a product, make sure you join Vibe Code School. It's my free community. The link is in the description. And I'm actively talking about how to go from app idea to revenue generating software business. I hope to see you in another video. My name is Aleem. Make sure you like and subscribe for more.